Hello everyone, welcome back to the people who are coming from the Excel series, and for the new ones, hello. I am Vikas. You are here just to understand how SQL works in real life. I'll just explain you all of that stuff in a single video. Yes, in a single video with a scenario based approach. And what is a database? Yes, what is a database? A database is simply put in words is collection of data. What do you mean by collection of data? Everyone might have gone to school, right? Your professor or your teacher might be having your student details such as your roll number, your name, your gender, your date of birth, and a few more other details. They store in what? In the form of books, in the form of tables. Similar to Excel, we have tables in SQL as well. In SQL, we deal with RDMS, that is what? Relational Database Management Systems. Don't worry, I'll just get into that in few more minutes. But for now, let's understand SQL through a scenario based approach. What is the scenario? It's a new academic year for you in your class 10th. What does your teacher do? He or she will take a new attendance book and fill in the details. Your name, your roll number, your gender, your date of birth, and all of the stuff. Right? That's what we are going to do today. We are going to take your information and fill it in the tables. What is a table? Yeah, table is a combination of columns and rows, where columns do have the attributes of you. That can be either roll number, name, gender, date of birth as such. But rows are the entities. These are the students. An entity of a student is been stored into the columns. Enough of the theoretical part. Let's directly dive into the practical part. This is the workbench, SQL workbench, where you can easily download it from online. You'll have multiple videos on YouTube where you can download it, and also if not, I'll just give a video link where you can approach this installation of SQL through that video. Okay, for now let's directly dive into the how do we create a database and how do we create a table and do all of the stuff based upon this scenario, given scenario. What's the scenario? Your teacher has to create a new tabular format for you and fill up your details. This is the task for us now. Let's do that. For that, what we need to do is we'll have to create a new database. Create database school. Yeah, create database school is the syntax for creation of a database. Create, we are telling to the system to create a new database with the name of school. You can select it and execute it. A new database school has been created, one row affected, right? A new database has been created under the name of school, right? Yeah, let's go down and let's try and use that particular database. This syntax tells us to use that particular database and perform any other action in that particular database. We are trying and using the school database. Yes, this has been executed and we are now using the school database. What do we need to do in this particular database? Yeah, what do we need to do? Yes, we need to create table or tables. For now, let's create a single table. Let's create a table for what class? Class 10th. Let's create what? Table space table name. Yeah, class underscore 10 open brace. What are the attributes? Yes, what are the attributes? Roll number space what is the roll number? Roll number is an integer, comma name. Yes, varchar. We can give the size 20. And the other attribute is what? Let's say gender. Then we can close this and semicolon. Let's select this and we can execute it. Yes, the sentence has been executed. Create table class 10 so and so has been created with 0 rows affected. Yes, successfully done. Let's see what's the structure of this particular table. We can, for that we can give the syntax as DESC space class 10. Select that. Yes, don't worry, I'll just explain it to you. Okay, these are the fields, in the sense columns: roll number, name, gender. And what are the types? Int is integer. We can give the numerical values. Varchar is the text. We can give the text over here. Gender, same goes with gender as well, the text format. 20 is the size of this particular name. Name can be pretty much bigger in size when compared to gender, so I have given 20 of size and 10 for gender. These are the 3 columns that we have created. This is the structure of the table. We have created the structure for the table now. So what's pending now? What's pending is that we need to insert data of the students into the table, right? Let's try and insert into class 10 values what? Roll number 1 comma, whatever the text that we are trying to give should be in inverted comma. I'll give my name Vikas, gender male, close the bracket, semicolon. This is how we give the insert statement. This is the syntax of the insert statement. Insert into class 10 value 1 comma, because one row affected is like one row has been inserted into this particular what? Table. So you might be having a doubt. So you're saying like one row has been inserted. I'm not really sure what can be done. Let's try and have a look at the table. Select star from class 10. This is the syntax for viewing the all column values from class 10 table. Asterisk denotes every other column from the class 10 table. We can select it and execute it so that we will be getting the details of the table. 1 roll number, Vikas, name, male, gender. This row has been inserted through this particular what? Query. This query has inserted this particular row. Through this particular query we will be able to view the content of the table. And let's try and insert few more students. What can be done? Insert into, since we have already inserted Vikas, let's try and start with number 2, Sanath. Okay, do we have to give the insert statement again and again? No, not really. Instead what can be done is we can give comma and copy this, paste it over here, similarly copy, paste. Yeah, we can modify the content. 4 5 Ravi, Trilok, Supraja, male, everyone is male. Yeah, Supraja is female, right? This is how you give multiple row values into the single insert statement. And let's try and execute this. It has been executed. 4 rows have been affected, right? So let's try and see the table content again. Yes, there are now 5 people in the class of 10th. Now that I have the details of the students in the tabular format, what do? Let's play with this table. Maybe I, as a school teacher, might have forget a single column to add. What can be done? Can we add a column? Can we add a new column to this particular tabular format? Can we? Yes, we can. So what do? We have to write a new syntax for that. Alter table name is class underscore 10. What do we have to do? Add column. What's the column name? Let's have as date of birth. Date of birth. Do we have to give a data type for it? Yes, we have to. I am introducing you to a new data type, that is date. Okay, date is a new data type that exists in SQL in the name of date. Okay, let's try and execute this. Did it get executed? Yes, it did. We have added a new column to this particular table. Let's try and see the structure of the table again. This is the structure. So what do we have now? We have a new column that has been added to the table structure. What is that? Date of birth with the type date. So now let's see what does the date content has. I don't think we have added any content to the date of birth over here. Not really. So what does it have? It has null as value. Null in SQL denotes not a blank space, not any number, but instead null is nothing exists over there, right? Not even 0. 0 is something that still do exist over there. Null is something that doesn't exist. Okay, if at all we want to give date of birth to each and every other individual, what do we need to do then? Yeah, anybody? Yes, we can update the information in the table. How? Yeah, I'll show you. Update what table? Class 10 set DOB is equal to date is a text. We should include it in inverted comma. So what date should be given? Let's give it as 1998 hyphen 01-09. This is because date of birth. Let me try and see if this update statements updates the date of birth of Vikas. But how do we map it to Vikas? Yes, we can map it through name or we can map it to roll number. How? That's when where clause comes in. Where what? Roll number is equal to 1 semicolon. Update class 10 table set update class 10 table set date of birth is equal to this particular date where roll number is equal to 1. So we have given the complete information. What does the SQL want? So what does now SQL do? Let's see. What does it say? Since we are trying and updating a particular row, what does it say? Let's see. You are using safe update mode and you try to update a table without a where that uses a key column. To disable safe mode, toggle the option in preferences SQL editor and reconnect. Okay, what does it say? Sometimes what happens is people try and update the information without a valid permissions, then this mode prevents that action to be performed. So we can manually do what? Let's have this query set save SQL updates is equal to 0. We're trying to turn it off. Let's execute this. Let's turn it off. Here we are, turn it off. And now let's try and execute this part again. Yes, it has been successfully updated. This is a preventive measure. Now that we have turned it off, we can actually update it. Let's now go back to the select query again and let's see what does it make to the data. Date of birth has been successfully updated to Vikas. Okay, let's also now do same for the rest of the people as well. Let's try and copy this statement. I didn't want to get into the date of birth thing again. I just want to safely give the same date of birth to each and every other student. Yeah, I just want to change the roll number. 3, 4, 5. I'll try and execute all of this. Executed. Now that we have done the execution part, let's try and see the table. Every other student has their date of birth updated. This is how we perform the update statement as well. If in case someone from our class has been shifted to another school, we no longer require their information. What can be done in that case? Yes, we can delete their particular row. Delete from what? Class 10 where roll number is equal to who has gone. Let's eliminate Trilok. 4. Okay, we just want to delete Trilok from our database and from our table because he has been transferred to some other school. So I'm trying to delete his row. Performed. Now let's try and go and see if his record has been updated. Yes, 1, 2, 3 and 5. Look has been removed from our database and from our table. Yeah, this is how we use delete statement as well. Delete from class 10 where roll number is equal to 10. We are deleting the entire row using his roll number. You might be wondering what happens if we use his name. Yes, we can use his name, but sometimes since we are in India, every other name is Srinu, every other name is Jyoti. But if we want to delete Srinu from our table, if we give the name as Srinu, since we have the Srinu names in our table with multiple rows or multiple entities, multiple Srinus from our database will be gone. So it's ideally should be deleted through the roll number of Srinu, through the specific Srinu. If not, multiple Srinus from our school will be deleted. So that's not the ideal way to do it. We have the unique identifier, that is roll number, in our table. Let's perform any other task with just roll number, because with roll number there is no other ambiguity. With name, with every other date of birth, there is still an ambiguity, but with roll number, since that is unique, there is no ambiguity and we can perform without any other inhibitions. If we want to drop a particular column from our table, can we do it? If we just want to delete the date of birth, since we not have that valid information of each and every other people, it's not right to have the database as the same for every other student. So what can be done? Since we want to delete the entire column, can we do that? We have added it through alter. Can we delete the same through alter as well? Yes, we can do it through alter as well. Let's go alter. What's the table? Table name class underscore 10. Drop is the command. Dropping what? DOB semicolon. Simple. As simple as that. We can execute it. We can drop the column. We can see the structure again. Date of birth no longer exists. We just have 3 columns to play with. Yeah, this is how we can drop the columns as well. We have looked at all kind of DDLs, DMLs and also DQL. What are all these? You might have been wondering what are all these. I should have told you about the DDLs, DMLs and DQL at the starting of the video. But why didn't I say at the starting of the video? Because it's not really important to understand the terminology, but it is really important to understand the logic and how do we do that. If I say all of this stuff in the starting of the video, there's a high chance that you might get confused with the terminology. But I just don't want to include that stuff at the starting of the video. But now I've explained all of this stuff to you. I just want to mention the terminology. So what is data definition language? Data definition is to create or drop the structure. Whatever we do with the structure, table structure comes under DDL. That is creation of the table is what? DDL, data definition. Insertion comes under what? DML, data manipulation. We manipulate the rows is data manipulation language. What is DQL? Data query language. We try and retrieve the information from the tables is data query language. DQL. Yes. Now you say, what does alter do? Alter is adding a column. That is, we are making change to a structure. Yes. DDL. What does update do? Update is trying and updating information within the data, within the rows. That is DML. Delete is trying and deleting the row. That is within the rows as well. Goes with DML. You might be wondering, what am I doing with this blue stuff? This is just commenting. I'm just commenting out this part so that it doesn't get executed when I am trying to execute the actual query part. How do we do that? That is control what? /. Also, I would like to tell you about truncate and rename as well. What does truncate do? So now that based upon the scenario, our teacher is done with this academic session with the people or with the students. So what to do with the next year people? Do we have to create the structure again? Not really. What we can do then? We can delete this particular data and we can still use this structure. Let's do what? Let's truncate. Now that we have the information over here, all of this information gets vanished. Once we do what? Truncate. Table class 10. Let's try and select it. Execute. Done. Let's go and select the information. There's nothing. Yeah. We can use this structure for the new people. If in case you don't want this table as class 10, you want this for class 9 people. If you want to use this for class 9 people and differentiate it from class 10, what can be done? You can instead rename it. Rename table class 10 to class 9. Select it, execute. Rename done. DSC class 9. Yes, we have the structure changed to class 9 people. We have just changed the name of class 10 to class 9. Does class 10 still exist? Not really, because we have just changed the class 10 to class 9. Through this, we have learned what are all DDL, DML, DCL, language queries through a scenario based learning. And there are other stuff as well, like primary keys, foreign keys, two other languages, that is DCL and TCL. Don't worry about DCL and TCL. I'll cover those topics in the future videos. But DDL, DML, DQL are the bread and butter of the SQL. Okay, try and learn these queries. I'll get into each of these queries and other scenarios that we can work through these queries as well. Just stay with me through the upcoming videos. I'll let you learn every other detail of SQL in depth. But for now, you might have understood how SQL works, how database works, how table works, how do we manipulate the data, how do we manipulate the structure of the table, and how do we try and rename, truncate, and every other detail that we have learned in this particular video. This is how SQL works, and this is the basic understanding of SQL. For now, you absolutely have basic understanding of SQL. You can build upon it. Thank you. That's it for today, and we'll meet in the upcoming videos. Thank you. Hopefully, try and practice from your end. And if you have any other doubts, ping me in the comment section. I'll just see and reply on your comments. Thank you. Have a good day.